Um, I'm really gonna try and make this short. I'm aiming for under 10 minutes even. It should be shorter than that. A question just occurred to me. If we took the most powerful people in the Rubyverse, because right now people are having battles, thinking of battles like how strong is Salem because she can just keep regenerating. Um, who could defeat Salem? Well, very hard to unless you imprison her. But in terms of the most powerful characters, they come down to the gods of light and darkness in Ruby are the two most powerful characters in that set universe. And I was just like, well, who could defeat the gods from any other series? It's like when you go into it and you think if you took one character out of here and said, "Hey, fight these gods," who could friggin' pull it off? And I was like going through like all the standard OP villains and heroes that you can think of. Thought up like what about Alucard from Hellsing, and I'm like, his problem is a lot like Salem's. Is that he can't die. By the end of Hellsing, he's basically an immortal vampire with Cheshire Cat abilities. He can be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's friggin' mind-boggling to think how that friggin' works. I thought, you go your traditional Madara Uchiha, Sasuke Aizen, you pick all these friggin' whack jobs that are way overpowered, and they can't do it. Regardless, these are beings that can bloody click shit out of existence. Thanos type shit. But that's when it got funny because today this has been going since last night. Currently it's I think maybe 9:10 in the morning. I forgot what time it is, but it is morning. Um, I decided to watch the Madoka Magica movies. I own the series. It's just watching the series is a lot more longer than watching the movies. So for the sake, I watch the movies. It's like when you take Evangelion and you watch either the series or you can sum it up with the smaller movies, not the rebuilds, by the way. But I got. I basically just finished watching Madoka Magica Rebellion. It's the latest. It's by the way it ends. It's definitely not the last Madoka Magica movie. It leaves its doors wide open for what could be possibly the last movie coming on. But as is the fact that Madoka Magica is pretty much the Evangelion of the magic girl genre. It is a mindfuckery. You have to watch these movies, this series so many times, debugging everything you see on screen and how it interprets to the characters. There's so much shit that you will not comprehend these movies on a first viewing. Thus, the reason I own them and I've watched them quite a few times. But by the time the movie ended, um, and if you're thinking it's Madoka, yes and no. The character I'm focused in on is Homura by the end of Rebellion. And I wanted to break down what started off as a schoolgirl who became a magical girl and essentially became a witch. But by the end of Rebellion, she classifies herself as a demon. Let me. Sorry about that. This is not working out well. Give me a sec. Trying to get this on stand. Sorry about that. This gets complicated when you actually think what she accomplishes at the end of the movie. I'm trying to process nearly everything she's done. Madoka, who is Homura's love interest, and as a friend pointed out, even though it's my favorite ship, the fact is it's not proven that Madoka um, returns those feelings. You could see as Homura loves Madoka, but Madoka only sees Homura as a really close friend. That's the dangerous thing about this relationship. Um, but Madoka is essentially a god, the goddess of the cycle of life, but before rebellion. That's her ascension to godhood. She does this because in the process of the show, the girls become magical girls in order to fight witches. What they're not told is that witches are created from magical girls. After a certain amount of time, a magical girl will become a witch. So it's effectively a cycle of magical girls slaying the corrupted version of their own kind. It's a cruel cycle, and it's how the wish granting incubators are absorbing energy from them. Obviously, the two main characters, Madoka and Homura, get the shits with this friggin' thing. Madoka's response in her ascension to godhood, she's gonna remove how magical girls become witches by purifying their soul gems. There ends up being a problem with this, is by doing so, the curse of the witches, or the negative energy from the witches that should exist, becomes something else. And it ends up in one of the next movie, essentially the wraiths are created, a new type of creature. They're supposed to be the replacement to the witches. And Homura at the time has the shits because she's lost Madoka, who's ascended to godhood. She's going around fighting these friggin' wraiths, and she ends up realizing during the course of the second movie she has become a witch. This whole world that they're living in, she's at some point become a witch and kind of created this world, which is it's really mindfuckery type shit, but it's what she's essentially done without knowledge, and it's her figuring out what she's done. Her becoming a witch. This leads into rebellion. She is a witch at this point. She's just like forgotten it or some shit. But when she comes to the grand conclusion that she is the witch, she has had enough of this shit. She's like, why the fuck am I a witch if this cycle of life type friggin' shit that Madoka sacrificed herself for, why the fuck am I a witch? She should be purified. She should go on to live a happily existence with Madoka. No. So she decides, fuck this universe, fuck the ascended god Madoka, I'm gonna do shit my way. She tricks Madoka into reappearing in her god form. She then proceeds, in a very unique manner, to split Madoka's divinity from her mortal self. Essentially, get rid of your fucking god powers, bitch. Or more or less nullify them. So even Madoka's not aware that she's a god. She does figure it out in time. That's how the rebellion ends, with her remembering she's a god. And that's the big cliffhanger. So I should have said spoilers at the beginning. But essentially, Homura does multiple things. Besides splitting the divinity of Madoka, she pretty much ascends to godhood herself, but rather than be called a god or a goddess, she refers to herself as a demon. This is like a parallel to God and Lucifer, Satan. She's the opposite to Madoka. In doing so, she also gets the incubators, the wish-granting creatures that granted them the magical powers and were harvesting their energy from becoming witches and all the bloody crazy shit that they were doing. She takes all the cursed shit of the witches and the wraiths and she decides, fuck it, and she puts it inside the incubator and she's like, you're gonna be punished, you fucking pieces of shit. I'm also gonna recreate the friggin' universe in my own image. Homura's whole thing is that she loves bloody Madoka. That's technically her sin. Every magical girl witch has a sin of excess that they represent. And this is insane what she does. And it's quite honestly selfish and martyrism at the same time. It's really weird. When she recreates the universe, she tries to make it that everyone's gonna live happily, everyone's gonna find love. This is this peaceful universe, and we're torturing the shit cunt that bloody fucked us up. And the biggest sin, her new sin, which coincides with her sin of love, is that Madoka pretty much is fucked at this point because she doesn't, know her godhood. The reason I'm describing all of this is to get across just how fucking powerful what essentially started as a schoolgirl, went to a witch, which is already powerful, then went to a demon who's recreated the universe and pretty much holds dominion over that set universe while punishing the very thing that created her. Consider that. Homura from Madoka Magica might be one of the anime type characters that's effectively could actually kill the Rwby gods. Just take her feats. She's able to meet a god and separate their divine power and create their mortal self and their divine power self separately, or God knows if she's absorbing their divine self. She can recreate the universe. She can kill people as she sees fit. Her power is insane. She's a god. She's God, basically. And the fact that the gods in Rwby represent something more akin to Greek gods, where they hold dominion over certain elements, I honestly think Homura could friggin' kill the Rwby gods effectively. What started off as a friggin' schoolgirl could kill is a god killer. That's just what this video was. Who the hell could kill the Rwby gods? And of all the friggin' characters, a fucking schoolgirl that became a witch, became a demon, and holds dominion over a friggin' universe. That's mind-blowing shit.